Solitude, far from being a punishment, is a privilege, so observed Arthur Schopenhauer. To him, isolation was not a sign of exile, but of elevation. He believed that those who think deeply must embrace solitude not with sorrow, but with purpose. In the quiet space of aloneness, the intellect finds its playground, free from the noise of social validation. Rather than contorting oneself to fit the expectations of mainstream society, Schopenhauer urged the wise to seek kindred spirits through philosophy, books, or circles of elevated discourse. He warned against sharing profound truths with those unprepared to receive them, advocating instead for thoughtful observation and strategic engagement with the world. For the modern intellectual, these teachings remain a compass. Intelligence often isolates, but it also liberates. It brings clarity, autonomy, and a deeper intimacy with life itself. Yet this clarity can be burdensome. Intelligence reveals truths that many are unwilling to face, cutting through the comfort of illusions, and thus creating a quiet divide between the thinker and the world. Schopenhauer understood that society does not fear intelligence per se. It fears what intelligence uncovers. Those who think deeply are not rejected because they are wrong. They are rejected because they are right too soon. So if you've ever felt alone in your thoughts, know this: you are not broken. You are simply attuned to a frequency that many have yet to hear. But does this mean deep thinkers are condemned to a life of isolation? Or can one engage with society while maintaining intellectual integrity? The reality is sobering. Society is not designed to nurture deep thinking. It is designed to maintain equilibrium. Most people favor comfort over truth, simplicity over nuance. That is why shallow conversations, digestible ideas, and repetitive content dominate public discourse. Why, we may ask, does comfort triumph over insight? The answer lies in human psychology and the institutional systems that shape our minds. At its core, the human brain craves certainty and familiarity. Evolution favors cognitive ease, the brain's preference for simple, familiar information that requires minimal effort to process. Complex, unfamiliar ideas are subconsciously flagged as threats. This explains why individuals cling to outdated systems, irrational norms, or flawed authorities. It feels safer to preserve the familiar than to embrace the uncertain. This is what psychologists call system justification theory. People would rather defend what is broken than face the discomfort of transformation. Groupthink compounds this phenomenon. The fear of social rejection leads many to conform, even when their instincts whisper otherwise. As a result, intellectual dissent is not just ignored, it is often met with suspicion or hostility. In this climate, thoughtful discourse struggles to survive. The digital world amplifies this tension. Social media rewards not depth, but engagement, controversy, outrage, humor. The algorithms favor the quick, not the contemplative. In such a system, philosophical inquiry and rigorous thought are drowned out by viral sound bites. This rejection of depth doesn't begin online. It starts in our institutions. In education, obedience is rewarded over originality. Memorization is praised. Critical inquiry is often punished. The student who challenges authority is labeled disruptive, not insightful. In the workplace, innovation is stifled by corporate conformity. Organizations often value those who reinforce the status quo over those who question it. In politics, truth-tellers lose elections. Charisma and platitudes win votes. Leaders who appeal to emotion rather than reason often rise, while those who provoke discomfort with logic are dismissed. The message is clear. Society celebrates intelligence, but only when it no longer threatens. True visionaries are rarely accepted in their time. Consider Galileo, condemned for revealing the Earth's motion around the sun; Van Gogh, whose genius was recognized only after death; Nikola Tesla, whose inventions shaped modern life, yet who died alone and forgotten; Alan Turing, a war hero and computing pioneer, chemically castrated for his sexuality. Even Hypatia of Alexandria, one of antiquity's greatest minds, was murdered for teaching scientific reason in a world ruled by religious dogma. Each of these individuals shared a common fate. They saw too far ahead, and for that they suffered. History teaches us this paradox. Society resists what it later reveres. So what is a deep thinker to do? Not all spaces are ready for profound insight. That does not mean you must suppress your thoughts. It means you must choose your audience with care. Share your depth with those who can receive it. You don't need to be understood by the masses, only by the meaningful few. Seek your tribe, whether in books, online dialogues, or rare friendships rooted in understanding. Even the greatest minds had to find ways to make their ideas accessible. Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." Learn to articulate your insights without overwhelming. Temper clarity with compassion. Speak truth, but know when to listen. As Schopenhauer wrote, "Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see." Deep thinkers will always unsettle the comfortable. That is their role. And while society may resist them in the present, it is often they who shape the future. So if you've ever felt like a stranger, in your own era, remember, you are not alone. You are part of a lineage of minds that challenge the world not because they hate it, but because they believe it can be more, and in that belief, they quietly carry humanity forward.